All right, guys, welcome back. Another question I get probably every day: when is my policy premium going to drop? What's my next break point? Or what can I do to lower my premium for next year, or even this year for that matter? A common misconception is that there is a number out there, whether it be 300 hours, 500 hours, 1,000 hours, that the underwriters are automatically going to give you a reduction on your premium, and that's not the case. Each individual company has their break points, so to speak, but that even fluctuates, and that fluctuates depending on recent losses. It fluctuates depending on the aircraft. It fluctuates depending on whether they're actively trying to pick up new business in a certain line. So the short answer is we really don't know. However, training is never wasted, and underwriters take that into account. Let me give you just a brief idea of how this works. Let's say we've got a V-tail Bonanza. If I submit it to 6 different underwriting companies, each underwriting company is going to say, okay, we've got a fill in the blank, a 1955 model V-tail Bonanza. And they're going to have a rate for that Bonanza. And then they're also going to have, that's their base rate, excuse me. Then they've got a bottom rate, which is basically best case scenario, that they won't go below. So everybody starts off on this base rate. Then they're going to add in the credits. Does this guy have an instrument rating? Okay, let's drop it down a little bit. Does this guy have time in the make and model? Okay, how much does he have? Let's drop it down a little bit. Or does he not have any time in the make and model? Well, let's raise that up a little bit. So each individual person combined with the make and model aircraft is going to shift that premium up or down. Now, obviously, things like if you're a student pilot and you're starting off, let's just use an easy one, a 172. When you get your private rating on renewal, we could probably expect a decrease, assuming that the market is the same as it was the previous year. If the market rates have gone up, you may still get that reduction. However, it may only offset the rise in the market. So for easy numbers, let's say you were paying $1,000 for this 172. And let's say they gave you a 10% credit for getting your private rating. But since last year when we enacted the policy and this year on renewal, the market has gone up 10% on that base rate we talked about. So you were here before, the market's gone up 10%. So this is now where the base rate is with X company, but you're getting a 10% reduction this year because you got that private rating. That brings us right back where we were. So you may get an as expiring. So in some ways, it's hard for people to understand, but when you look at the shifting base rate, it makes a lot more sense. Another one that might happen is you get an instrument rating, but you're flying a J3 Cub. It's not going to help you out a lot on your base rating. Once you get to that bottom number we talked about, it's not really going to do you any good with any additional ratings. You could go from a private pilot all the way to an ATP, but if you're already down here at this preferred rating, it's never going to get any better. So again, there's not really one pat answer for when is my rate going to break. And it's very individualized from person to person. If you've gotten into this Bonanza, you're a private pilot with no retract time, no instrument rating, and let's call it 300 hours total. But during that year, you knock out your instrument rating and you fly this thing 200 hours. Chances are you're going to get a pretty good reduction throughout the year. However, if you got into this airplane as a commercial instrument pilot, you already have 1,500 hours and 250 hours in this airplane. There's not a whole lot that's going to give you a reduction on renewal, all else being the same. Remember the market. You're probably not going to see much reduction in your premium even if you go up and add that ATP rating and you fly the airplane 200 years, because 200 hours, not 200 years. Most likely you're already down there in that preferred category. Again, having said that, training is never wasted. You should not turn down training strictly because it's not going to benefit you on your insurance. That always makes you a safer pilot, and that's what you should be looking for. As always, read your policy wording. Give us a call if you have any questions. You can find more information on our website, aviationinsurance.com. We also have a blog with more information, clearontop.com. Get out there, get to flying, have fun. We'll see you next time.